Good evening. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Good morning. Good evening. Hello. Welcome back to Beyond the Veil. Last time that we left off, well, we did some sacrificing. We did some summoning of blood blood undead. We commanded some zombies and skeletons and all of that. I blew up little bits and pieces over here, as you can see. This is. Oh. Okay. Well, I don't know why it's like that, but you know what? Let's pay no mind. We also came over here, and we made ourselves a little blood well. It really feels like it's screeching into my soul. All these hearts. I don't know why I did this. So loud. Oh. And I just destroyed it. I'm gonna put it back. But yeah, the hearts are very loud, so be careful. They might hurt your mind a little bit. Really. I think the well just. Yeah, the well also gives off a heartbeat. But last time we did sacrifice. We did this part, this tree over here, which was a branch of the heart in the surgery tree. And to really get through this tree, maybe I should have started with automation to begin with, because to get through this tree you need a lot of hearts and organs, and it's basically going to be like that for the entire tree. Like this bit of the surgery tree right here is all the baubles and stuff and such. These are the three products you can get from villagers. So yeah, maybe it would have been best to have started with automation. Now, to begin automation, you're going to have to get yourself a ring of revealing. It is just a necessity, because when you have the ring of revealing on, you can see where the tracks are in your little machines, your little automation gizmos, doodads. I really want to say before we get started with automation, though, that it is, like, I usually don't ever go for automation in any mod whatsoever. I'm old-fashioned. I go by hand, you know? Minecraft wasn't intended for it to be a factory. But in this case, it's not that complicated, actually. I usually also don't go for automation because of all the pipes and tubes and all that complicated stuff. No, it's actually just like 3 blocks, I think. And everything else is kind of really intuitive. Now, I have a room in here. So I don't know why it's like this exactly, but we really don't need to pay too much attention to it. I'm just gonna light it up a little bit. This is for some reason made out of blocks of dragon's resin, or block of dragon's blood resin. I had someone come over, like, well, not come over in a literal sense. I had somebody, I don't think you guys remember, but in the video where I actually showed off surgery, somebody came over or somebody was in my world, to show off the ring of, the Covenant of Blood ring, and they kind of did this. They also did some other stuff, which is why everything looks so weird and strange. So yeah, that's nice. But it's fine, because I can use this room as a demonstration to automation. So I guess we can get to it. Right, so I turned off the music because it was loud. But if you come over here, once you get the Ring of Revealing, which we have done, if you don't know how you get it, you just need 4 emeralds, which is probably the most expensive part about this, is the amount of emeralds you need. And you also need 8 redstone. Bucket of Tears isn't that hard to get. You can get a lot, like I already have a bunch of tears in that lacrimon. But yeah, you just need one of these. These are also used for invisibility, like when you're, if you have and literally anything that's invisible. You know, you can see things that are invisible now, and you can even disable the invisibility of people's invisibility. It's actually very neat and cool. And if you haven't seen that video, then you should go check it out. I will warn you though that I'm quite new to the whole video making scene and also explaining in general, so it is kind of hard to get past. So I do apologize, but besides that, let's just continue on ahead here. We have Dream Focus, I'm sorry. Dream Focus are devices that, through their quartz structure and watery surface, can channel dreams to move objects. Not my dreams, nor those of weepers, who yet resist the final embrace. It is those of Fletty that I must harness, so lost in their disparate adoration of what lies beyond, so craft a dream of focus. This will require 2 dorsal spines, 2 hearts, 2 buckets of water, and 10 block of quartz. This is only one of these. You might need a bunch of these. But yeah, another thing that I forgot to mention with this tree, or I think I might have, you really are going to have to find yourself a village, or have yourself a villager spawner to get past this surgery tree. It is a very, very, very villager villager focus heavy tree. Luckily for us, this tree will need a lot less villagers, but we are not there yet. We need to finish this off first, so let's go on ahead. Let's get ready for the other tree. So yeah, I'll be right back when I have this ready. So there we are. We have ourselves a Dream Focus item. Let's see how we use this. So a Dream Focus is a wondrous device. It's small and should be adjacent to a container. Blah blah blah. You could read this if you want. It's really not that greatly important. Basically, all you need to know is you need yourself a container. In this case, a chest, a fletum, and probably a hopper or two. Depending on what you want to do it with said chest and item. So I'm going to get myself a hopper real quick. So here we are, we have ourselves a hopper. I have a fletum over here. So what you're going to want to do, is go wherever you want to go really, where you have a chest set up that you want to move items from. You're going to look at the chest in any direction. You can put it over here. You can put it over here, you know. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. And then what you do is you basically get another chest. Like let's do this as a demonstration. So you get another chest, and you put a hopper on this end. So yes, this automation system does require hoppers. It seems a little bit old-fashioned, but listen, it is amazing. If you don't know how to get a fletum, if you don't remember how to get one of these, again, watch the surgery video. This is basically just a disembodied villager head filled with water. So we're just gonna put an item in here. Let's say it's this dark prismarine block. What we're gonna want to do is, once you have everything that you want set up, you're gonna want to right-click on this focus. And what's going to happen is, you're basically going to go into specter mode almost, and you will basically just move in the direction where you're looking. And what you can do is I think you press escape to get out. Or I think maybe it's right click, maybe it's escape. When you're over the hopper, you would want to escape. It's going to save basically the progress of the line, and then you put a fletum on top, and it'll basically make this work. But let me just show you what that looks like. So as you can see here, I think that was shift. This is what the line looks like. The reason why you can see a line is because, again, I am wearing the Ring of Revelation, so it lets me see a line here. If you aren't wearing the Ring of Revelations, you will not see a line here at all. I'll want to make this much better like that. There we are. So this is a very clean path. Another problem or issue, let's say, with this system is that it's going to be an actual interactable item that's going to leave from here, which is why you need a hopper. Because the item's going to leap out and get into here, which means if you are close to it, you might accidentally pick up that item, and that might not be so well or so good. So I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to put a fletum on here, and we'll just see. This fletum will power that, and put that dark prismarine block in there. It doesn't just put that in there. It can literally put in any item. You can see it puts that in there. I think it goes by stack, if I remember correctly. So that's 15. Yes, it goes by stack. So then the string, yada yada, self-explanatory. Shift or click to pick that back up. We'll just take this stuff back. And that's basically how you use an item focus at its simplest like form. So once we have an item focus, you have a few things to branch off of from here. First thing is a fluid focus, or dream focus fluid, a villager focus, or dream focus villager, and a curtains. I think we should look at curtains first because they coincide almost with dream focus, or the item focus. You come over here, look at curtain. Curtains are our world's counterpart to the veil. Separating truth from lies, behind them act a stage full of actors. Yes, maybe our reality is really nothing but a theater. Still, these curtains, to make a fair deal more mundane, they'll simply act as filters for the items that collide with them. So this is basically just a filter. You're going to need 6 red wool, specifically red, and 2 gold nuggets to get 1 curtain. So I'm going to be right back and show you what that looks like. So now we have ourselves a curtain. We can go back and take a look at our previous system. And how this works is, we'll just set this back up the way that it was before, like this, and then it doesn't have to be aligned like you've seen before. You can literally put this here for instances, but to make things more simplistic for myself, I'm putting holes in the ground everywhere. I apologize. I'm just going to put this like that. Put a hopper down, and instead of just keeping things the way that it is now, we're going to do a little bit of this. Put a chest here, and you're going to want your curtain to be facing in the direction of where, because let's say you put it here, it's not going to work too well. It's like this, it doesn't work. Right, so you don't want it like this, because that's not how curtains work. The item isn't paper thin. You're going to want to put it like this and kind of aim in the direction like this, make it adjacent, and you kind of have something like this. So this will kind of just block the item. So let's just demonstrate that. I'm going to put, let's say that I don't want, I don't know, an arrow to pass through. So then I come over here, and I'm going to put bones and arrows in here, and then we're just going to make, oh, I failed. As you can see, I kind of screwed up a little bit. You gotta really go up, and then let's see. So yes, this should work. So theoretically, the arrow shouldn't pass through. So we're gonna put this here, and the arrow doesn't pass through, but then the bones, right, there are still bones in there, will be able to pass through. Now you could put like a little bit of a lava pit here, is what you could do, so that, that's gonna cause a fire. So what you could do is know, just have that fall into lava and get destroyed. And that's kind of what I would do, but I was playing with mods, so I just had a trash can that did the same thing. So yeah, it's fairly simple again. Very cool so far. And now we're going to take a look at, oh, let me just progress here. So this is just an explanation. Then we're going to take a look at villagers. Right, so now we're going to take a look at villager transportation. And this is really where it comes in with sort of surgery automation. So I'm going to go back to that room that we had. Actually, first, I'm going to have to craft the focus. Right, so 2 dorsal spines, 2 hearts, 2 buckets of water, and this time 2 glass. And instead of 10 blocks of quartz, you will need 8. So I'm going to make that real quick. Let me just... So now we have a villager focus. And I'm going to go to that one room over here. And I'm just going to make like a little pit to hold my villagers, because where else are you supposed to put them, you know? Kind of here. And yeah, we're going to put that right here. And then put an extra block space right there. So normally what you could do is make like a villager farm and then probably have this somewhere, but allow it for some space for the villager to leave. Or if you're playing with mods, you just get a villager spawner, probably with using actually additions and the spawner swapper, which looks like this, and we have a spawner. And I'm gonna go make a villager spawner. So I have made a villager spawner, but now it's time to take a look at a couple other things. Actually, wait, a couple other things before we do this. I'm gonna break that very temporarily. Before we actually take a look at the villager spawner, I would like to look at, or not the villager spawner, the villager focus. I would like to take a look at that is quite strange. Oh, you know what? We have to go down a different tree. We have to go down over here, we have to get this to get... Oh, yes, okay, I forgot. Okay. No, okay, let's take a look at this. It's gonna be not that great, because we are missing something. We are missing a part of the equation. But essentially, I don't know. We're just gonna make this come over here, come down here, and then we can make a little hole for our villagers. Oh, I'm such a fool. Okay, hold on. Let me just figure some stuff out. I'll be right back. Right, so something to go over with automation, and villager automation in particular, is that you can actually, and I guess this is what it's normally used for. Sorry about that. So another thing that it should be noted with villagers and, you know, the blackjack is that yes, they can indeed be knocked out regularly, like by hand. Actually, I'm just gonna put this one back down. But also another thing, the villager focus will prioritize knocked down villagers or unconscious villagers over fully grown villagers, and they will not take kid villagers. So if you have a child, it will not take it, because you can't perform surgery on kids. So over here, I got myself a chest with a blackjack in it, and I'm gonna quickly make a little bit of a thing here, where I go like this, and I come back here and I drop myself off. So it's a little wonky, but it's gonna do what I need it to do. Or maybe I might actually just fix it a little bit. So like that maybe. This should be something. And then if I come over here to this villager focus, I'm gonna basically want to connect this villager focus with that item focus line. So kind of like this. So I have it connecting twice, and then I put it back here. So it kind of just goes like that. So the reason why I'm doing this is because the item version of a blackjack will also knock out a villager, and villagers that are knocked out can actually be put into water cradles, and I just realized that this isn't close enough to put them in a water cradle, so I'm gonna do that again. I apologize. Hold up. So you're really gonna want the line to touch the water cradle, maybe just the surface or the sides or something. At some point the villager will be knocked out and will also, you know, be viable to be put in. So I'm gonna grab myself another fletum. I already have one that is a bat. Here's a fletum. I'm just gonna listen. Normally you could I could just remove it, but this bat is in the way, so it's easier to do this. So I'm gonna start this one up. So remember, you start them up with a fletum at the top for at least these ones. So you'll see that the blackjack will leave and come back in. And I'm just gonna grab another fletum. And how you... Oh, splish splash, hee hee. That's another reference to Bloodborne. I love that. Alright. Another thing is, instead of putting it on the top for villager focuses, you have to put them on the bottom. So now it should work. Actually, something that I do suggest you do is make sure that they are enclosed, and hopefully I will get a moment where both the villager and the blackjack will interact. Maybe... Oof. Now that is the sucky bit, isn't it? Listen, I'm not great at automation, okay? I never said I was. I did say that I liked this form of automation. I will remove this. I dreamt of a beautiful rainbow, it was red. I do indeed think that they are Bloodborne references, but I could be mistaken. Like, I know that the Hunter's Cleaver was a Bloodborne reference. So I think my problem is that this isn't long enough. Like, it doesn't properly sustain. Maybe this would have to touch the bottom as well, and then come over, make it, again, like this. Just touching a bunch of things now. I don't know what that looks like. It looks wonky. Like, it looks really, really wonky. Like, that is super wonky. But you know what? I feel it in my bones. This is probably gonna work. So we're just gonna set this back up and see if it does it. This is me figuring out how to use automation. Oh, see, it just did it. So the villager got incapacitated, and they are now ready for surgery use. By the way, if you think that these lines are too much clutter, you could always just remove the ring. I am in creative mode, so it will require me to go into survival mode to do that. But instead of doing that, I'm just going to move on to the next part of automation, and that is fluids. Funnily enough, to make the dream focus for fluids, I've never used this one before, or ever crafted this one in vanilla, but I didn't know this. You'll need double the glass that you needed for the villager one, as well as you will need 4 times as less. Not 4 times. I think it's twice as less. Listen, I'm bad at math. I think it was 8 before. This is 4, so yeah, it's 2 times as less. Or, yeah. And you will need 2 times as more dorsal spines, because normally it's just 2. Now you need 4, so it's 4 dorsal spines, 4 glass, 4 block of quartz, 2 water buckets, and 2 hearts. Kind of funny that you don't need more water for the fluid focus, but you know what? Let's just get on with it. I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So you grab that, and we now have a Dream Focus Fluids. We're going to come over here and progress this. We should not stop at items. Fletty are more than capable of transporting other things. Okay, never read that before. So a couple of things of interest here is that unlike its 2 counterparts, there are actually a couple different versions, not versions, but more so. I'm not gonna go over there. That's a headache. There are a couple different facets, I guess, to the fluid thing. As you can see, if you compare it to the Dream Focus, this top part, which is usually where the Fletty go, is now. Let's take a look at the Villager Focus as well. So every part where it's blue is basically where the Fletty go. As, for example, the Villager Focus, they went at the bottom. The Item Focus, they went at the top. And as it goes without saying, the next, if you go with the theme, the Fluid Focus is that the Fletty go on the sides. I'm sorry. The Fletty go on the sides. So, yeah, be wary and cautious of that when building a contraption. Now you might be wondering why there are 4 sides that the Fletty can go onto. Well, that's because every side will increase the amount of millibuckets that can be carried from the focus. So 1, for example, does not carry as much as 4. It's actually, the example is right here. So 1 Fletty will carry 100 millibuckets, 2 Fletty will carry 300, 3 Fletty will carry 600, and 4 Fletty will carry a full bucket of liquid. So yeah, that is something to keep in mind. I will demonstrate to you what this looks like in action. Another thing. I apologize. Another thing. Water with this supposedly fertilizes things, so you can actually make like a farming thing. Make the water blocks go around it and stuff. I've seen it happen on Valeriotor's video about it, where he doesn't talk but he does show. It's actually very neat. Go look at Valeriotor's videos on automation if you want more ideas and stuff on how to do this stuff, because I'm not very good with automation, so go do that. So basically, what I have here is a little setup. The reason why I put things on the side here is so that when I put the Fletty down, the Fletum won't move. Like, if they move, they stop powering the machine, so I really wanted them to stay in place. It might actually be even more ideal once you put them down that you put a block on top. But what I have here is a Megadria full of water, and this counts as a tank. And basically what happens is the liquid will come out of the bottom. So unlike the Villager one, where technically everything came out of the top, well, the Villager was already at the top. Anyways, it'll go from the top to the bottom. And unlike the village or the item one, you don't need to have a hopper or any other sort of source of input to get the liquids back in or to get the liquids into anything else, because they will detect whether or not the liquids are indeed, they will detect whether or not there is a tank in their path, and they will go into that tank. I don't know what happens if there isn't a tank. That might actually be something to look into. Maybe they just go into the nearest tank. might be really cool, actually. Anyways, I just wanted to demonstrate what it looks like with the whole water thing. I might actually just, you know, break these and just kind of make this garden not be, I don't know why there are blocks here. I don't know why I did this. It actually kind of messes with some stuff. So, well, basically what we'll do is I'll make the path go over here so that it comes near, and then go back in there, or back in here. So another thing that I completely forgot to mention, very key part about automation, is when you interact with a focus, you can only interact with its pathing system if there is no fletty powering it at all. So always be sure, if you are going to edit a focus, that you have no fletty at all, or fletum, no fletum, fletty, fletti, no flets, powering it. So let's just take a look at this pathing system here. So we go down here. Let's come over here. As you can see, this pathing system is quite slow. We're going to come all the way back here, and let's see if we can make it. There we are. So now you can see that it kind of goes over like that. We're going to try this out. I'm going to pull out my fletum, and I'm going to start to power it. As you can see, water droplets will come out. They will go around here, and they will grow everything. It's actually very nice and cool. Yeah. I think they get absorbed, actually. They don't come back, they just get absorbed, which is really interesting. And what you can do is you can have an infinite water source, I'm assuming, pumping into something. If you have another, maybe, oh wow, it's just getting absorbed by everything. Oh, this one water block, though, will survive and come back to its tank. And as you saw right there, it just kind of just gets souped in instantaneously. This also works with lacrimonts. If you want to put, you know, tears from a lacrimont into a megadria, you just kind of put the fluid's focus underneath it, and it'll, you know, transport it to where it has to go. I don't want to wait for a lacrimont, though, so like, I don't want to wait for a fletty or a weeper to cry into a lacrimont, so I'm not going to do that. Another thing that it states related to the lacrimont, though, if you are worried that these fletty will interfere with your, like these, I guess, these fletty that are used to power the focus will interfere with the fletty that is crying into the lacrimont, you do not need to worry at all. They kind of, you know, they're directed to themselves. They, you know, they kind of, they're powering the focus. They won't do anything else. Also, only one fletty or weeper can actually cry into a lacrimont, so it won't affect anything. It also won't make the fletty cry less, I believe. I could be wrong about that. But I don't think it'll make the fletty cry less, so might actually be good to probably set a couple of those things up. It doesn't have to look this bulky. Again, you could just, you know, have it like this, but the scary part is that these could just be moved out of the way, and, you know, they stop working, and that would be no good. Like, if I just keep moving this, you'll see that eventually no water will be brought through. So now the system is broken because all the fletty are moved. So be cautious. And the same thing with these fletty, also go with the item focuses. I also like to kind of block off the fletty like this, maybe like this. But in this case, the item does need to go through here. So yeah, just be cautious. And that's basically it for so far, at least, in automation. Next time that we'll be coming back, we're finally going to take a look at this tree over here, this one, the Deep Ones tree. We're going to go over transformation in the first episode. Then we're going to continue that with dreams. And then after, we're going to finish that off with creation. There are a couple things that will also be unlocked after finishing this tree, in this tree. Like another extension to the villager focus that I seem to have forgotten. But yeah, that's basically it. There really isn't too much else to this. So thank you very much for watching. This is my, I think, 5th video in the series. It's a very long journey, but we'll get there. I hope that I'm being helpful. If I'm not, please comment on what I can do better. Thank you very much for watching. Love yourself. Goodbye.